Alright, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be testing some flooring that is available at the Home Depot. I have got 5 samples here, and the first one is going to be a luxury vinyl tile, and that one there is, let me get that so you can see that perfect. Allure is the manufacturer, and Bamboo Dark, and then it gives the SKU number there and so forth. And I'm going to be doing a few tests here on these 5 floors. The tests that I'm going to be doing are right here on this board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I call it the stay put test. Actually, with the Allure I'm not going to be able to get that particular one, but I'll example that with the hardwood floors. I'm going to do a scratch test, a moisture test, and if you had a full-blown flood, how that is going to look as well. So we're going to do a few different tests on these floors. Now the first test would be on the stay put test, but you can't really do the stay put test because these are just sample pieces. The way the luxury vinyl works is that it comes with the glue strip attached to the tile. The sample pieces actually don't have it, so we're not going to be able to do that. So let's move on to the next one. Now the next one here is, let's see here, the name of the manufacturer is called Milstead, and that's a hardwood floor. So the first test that we want to do with this one here is going to be what's called the stay put test. So what that means is I'll just move these over a little bit. What that means is that if you take the 2 pieces and you click them together the way that the manufacturer wants you to click them together, all right, and then you put that flat on the floor, is that going to slide out? The answer is no, that's a really tight fit. So that is really good in the way of the stay put. So the Milstead product for the stay put test is definitely a good product. So what I'll do is I'll come up here, and on the product there, which is Milstead, I'm going to say that the stay put test is good. On the Allure I can't test it, so I'm just going to put down not available. Alright, so that is on the Milstead product. So let me go ahead and move on and do the scratch test on the Milstead, the product that I'm on right now. So let's go ahead and do a scratch test. Now for the scratch test, I've got a couple different ways that I can test that. Now what I did was I brought a penny, a dime, and a key, and then very sharp pin tack. So let's go ahead and do the smooth surface of a penny, and I'm just going to run that against the grain. Oh, that is not doing good. That is scratching with just the penny, just going with the penny like that. That's really tearing this stuff up, and that's one of the smoothest things. Let's see how it does with a key. Oh, now that looks really bad with the dime. Now, of course, this is, going really strong, but if you used it in your kitchen, you were going to slide your refrigerator against it, this is what might happen. Here's with a pin tack. Oh yeah, full-blown scratch. So definitely the Milstead product with the scratch test, you would say that it has failed the scratch test. So with that, I'm going to put a red mark and say that the scratch test, it has failed. Okay, now I can do that also with the luxury vinyl tile. why don't we go ahead and do the luxury vinyl tile and see how that does. So I'm going to start off with the penny. That looks pretty good. That looks like it didn't scratch. I'm going to move forward to a dime. That is still not scratching this floor. Let's try a key. No, I am still not scratching this floor. Now, with an actual pin tack, now I did scratch that, but you really can't see that easily. Let me go against this gray here. I'd say that passed the scratch test, so I'm going to give that a pass on the luxury vinyl tile scratch test. Okay, so that's a pass. Okay. Now the next product that we have in line that we want to test is, let me move this over a little bit, and now the manufacturer of this one, let me zoom in right down on that. You can see that real good. Okay, this is called Home Legend. Alright, it's a little bit blurry. But this here is called Home Legend, sold at the Home Depot. Sorry I don't have the price per square foot of these products, but let's see which ones pass the test and then we'll move on from there. Okay, so now with the Home Legend, let's go ahead and do a scratch test. So I've got a piece right on top of that, and let's go ahead and do the same exact tests that we did with the other one. I'm going to start with the penny. Oh, that's doing good. No scratches there. No scratches against the grain with the penny. Let's try key. Okay, we are scratching now against the grain, and not really with the grain, but against the grain. I definitely see a mark right there. Let's try with a dime going against the grain. Nope. No, the dime's doing good. Let's try it with a very strong tack now and see what that does. Alright, that was hard for me to scratch, but it did scratch. That did scratch, so let's go ahead and give that one a fail on the scratch test for Home Legend. Alright, now let's see how the Home Legend does on the stay put test. On the stay put test, goes like this. Put it together. Now you see how that slides real easily? That is sliding right out. So on the stay put test, not very good. So I would say that that was a fail on the stay put test for that one there. Home Legend stay put test, fail. Alright. The next product is Peugeot. Now, instead of moving the camera, I'll move this. Okay. This one is Peruvian mahogany. Very pretty product. Very, very nice. Nice. Looks beautiful. Let's go ahead and see how it does on the stay put test. Alright. So the stay put test, we're going to take this, put it in like so. Now that fails. That fails. That slides very, very easily on the stay put test. So definitely that's a fail on the stay put test for Peugeot. Let me write that down. Peugeot stay put is a fail. Now let's try the scratch test with the Peugeot product. Alright, so there's Peugeot, and here's some more sample pieces. Let's start off with the penny because it's smooth on the surface there. We'll go with the grain. go against the grain. So far, so good. Let's try a dime. With the grain, against the grain. This is really good. Flawless. No scratching. Try a key. No. That looks real good. Now let's try a tack. See if it'll withstand this. Oh no. Yeah, we definitely scratched with the tack. You can see that scratch. But it did, I don't know if you can see that 100%. That did scratch. But other than the tack, boy, that was a really hard surface. Because it failed just on the tack, I almost am wanting to give this one a pass on the scratch test because it was a pretty hard surface. I mean, you have to really, that's a really strong thing to throw at it, that there, but I'll give it an okay. So I'm going to give it a green okay on the scratch test for the Peugeot. Alright, the last product that we're going to test is going to be this one here, which is called, the manufacturer is called Bruce, and this is a very pretty flooring. Let's go ahead and do a scratch test on this one here. And on this one here, we'll start with the penny, and I'll go with the grain, against the grain, no scratch. Try a dime, with the grain, against the grain, no scratching. Try a key, with the grain, against the grain, no scratching. Now, let's see if it can withstand a tack. I did scratch it very little, but I'm having a hard time scratching this with the tack. This is definitely a pass on the scratch test. So Bruce is a pass on the scratch test. So I'm going to put down good. Alright, I guess I could just use the word pass. Let me just write down pass there, pass there. Alright. Now, one last thing about each of the different products. Okay. Now, first of all, let's talk about this product here. This is the Allure product, luxury vinyl tile. Basically, this is vinyl. One piece of vinyl right there. So just to give you some idea of what that's like, okay? Now, on the, let's just put these back here. On the Milstead product, you'll notice that there are about 3 different layers. There's actually 4 different layers going on here. I see a small layer at the bottom, another layer, and then 2 in the middle, and then 1 at the top there. So just to show you that there's 4 different layers that make up this product, which is the Milstead product. Now, on this one here, this is Home Legend, and there's the face of it. Now you'll see here, you've got 3 layers. I have a very thin layer at the bottom, a thick middle section, and then at the very top, a small layer of the final product right there. So there's 3 layers on this Home Legend. On the Peugeot, this is an interesting product that they have here. They got like a foam piece built in to the to the flooring. So there's a piece of foam at the bottom, so I guess you wouldn't have to put that down. It's already built into the floor. Then you've got one piece of material, and then just at the very top it looks like you have your final finished floor coating there. So that's on the Peugeot. Okay, now and the last one here is Bruce. Bruce passed the stay put test. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do? I don't know if I did the stay put test there. Let me see if it's going to pass the scratch test on the. I'm sorry. The stay put test on the Bruce. I don't think I did the stay put test, but the Bruce, just so that you know, basically is just one material all the way through, and then you've got the finished floor just at the very top there. I forgot to do the stay put test on the Bruce product. Let's see how this does. Here's the Bruce. Here's the interlocking joint that seals together right there. Now that can slide. So in the stay put test, the Bruce is sliding apart here. Alright, so in the stay put test on the Bruce, that one would be a fail. On the scratch test, it was a pass. Alright. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to do a moisture test here to see how well these pieces are going to hold up with some type of simulated moisture environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of each of the families here, and I'm going to put them over here, which is just on some plastic. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 5 products and I'm going to turn them upside down so that they're actually, let's see here how we can do this a little bit better. You know what I'll do is I'll put each of these families together like this. So let's see here, this one here is the Home Legend, and here's the Home Legend. We'll put them all together. Alright, the next one is Milstead, and here's Milstead right here, and we'll put that in like so. Okay, now this one here is Peugeot. Let's go ahead and put the Peugeot in. Alright, and then this one here, which is luxury vinyl tile. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bucket with a very wet rag, and this rag is almost soaking wet. It's not quite soaking wet, but it's wet. And I'm going to put it so it's right on the joint here, so I can see, I'm going to see how well this sits in a completely wet environment. I'll put the luxury vinyl tile over here, and I'll do that one separately. Just with the super wet, as if someone put down like some really, really wet laundry is what I'm going to simulate here. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to leave this on for 24 hours. We're not going to come back and visit this until 24 hours from now. So this is going to be a test, and I'm going to call this the moisture test. Now we are still going to do another test, which is going to be a full-blown flooding test. Now, for the flooding test, what I'm going to do, I don't have all 5 pieces because one of the pieces is still in there, but for the flooding test, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bucket of water that I had used for the wet rags, and I'm going to put each one of these samples and actually saturate them all in water. And I'm going to leave them in there for 24 hours. And I'm going to see what this flooring looks like after 24 hours. This would be simulating something like as if you were in Katrina. Major disaster. And just to see how destroyed this flooring is going to be after sitting in a completely saturated wet environment for 24 hours. And then over here, this would be as if someone had some wet towels and they threw them down on your floor and you didn't realize it, and about 24 hours went by, how wet they would be. I'm still going to have this pretty wet. This isn't going to be soaking, but this is going to be pretty wet. Same with this one over here, so that these are going to be, trying to get as realistic to how much damage you can possibly do to a floor. And then we'll come back 24 hours and we'll show you these results. So far, this is what our lineup is looking like. Alright, get in on that. Alright, so right now, what you've got on the Allure, I'm pretty sure that the Allure is going to pass the stay put test because I've seen the actual floor, and if you look at the installation examples, it looks like it's going to stay put. So I think that would be a pass and a pass. Now, the Home Legend has failed on the stay put and it's failed on the scratch. The Milstead passed on the stay put, but it failed on the scratch. The Peugeot has failed on the stay put, but on the scratch it was okay. That was some pretty good, that held up to everything except for the tack on the Peugeot. And the Bruce flooring did not stay put, but as far as scratch resistance goes, that was a really good floor for that. Alright, so we still got to do 2 more tests here, and then we'll come back and give you those results. That's it for now. Alright, it has been 24 hours, and now we're going to see how all of our products did. This here's for the moisture test. I'm going to take this towel here. It's still got a lot of moisture in it there. Wring that out, and we'll see how well all these pieces did, as well as we're going to take these ones that have been soaking. We're going to see how well they did as well. And that's after being soaking for 24 hours there. So, let's see how well everything's doing. Alright, and then here I've got the Allure. Now the vinyl, that is like brand new. The moisture, the water is not affecting this product at all. So the luxury vinyl tile, that definitely gets a pass on the moisture and the flood. Alright, so let me see here. On the flood test, that is like brand new. So luxury vinyl gets a pass on both. Okay, let's find the Home Legend. That's the next one down the list. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this one's Home Legend right here. Now, on the moisture test, there is buckling going on here. I can see wavy buckling going on here, and I suspect that is because of the moisture test. You can see that the water has penetrated through here, but this piece here looks like I've got some buckling going on. The Home Legend was the only one that I couldn't do the full saturation test on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the piece that's buckled here and I'm going to put that in the bucket, and I'm going to do that one for 24 hours as well. So I'm going to let that one sit. So On the home legend, for all I can do is the moisture test. It looks like I had buckling going on there, although this piece is good, but the other one wasn't good. I'm going to say that on the moisture test on the home legend, I'm going to put that down as a fail. Now let's go to Milstead. Alright, Milstead is this product and this product. Okay. On the moisture test, let's see here. On the moisture test, I'm inspecting it here. You know, I'm thinking that it's still going to be okay. That doesn't look, that looks pretty normal. If once it's dried off there, I'm going to say that the Milstead passed the moisture test. So that's a pass there. Let's see how Milstead did on the flood test. Now obviously this tile, this wood is completely saturated through. You can see that. And I can see some buckling happening here. Oh yeah, this flooring is definitely going to the wayside under a full test. And it's definitely past the full fail. Milstead is a fail on the flooding. So that one's going to be a fail. Okay, next is Peugeot. Okay, let's put Milstead to the side. And let's go to Peugeot. And let's see here. On the moisture test, you know, I think I see it starting to lift right here at the end between the joints. Got saturated, but I think I see it starting to fail right there though. You can see a lip. It's not bad. I don't know how the whole floor would hold up. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't look like it's in bad condition. I'm going to give it a pass. The Peugeot a pass on the moisture test. I'm going to give that one a pass. And let's look at when it gets completely saturated. And this thing's been soaked for 24 hours. You know, the ends are curling. If this was a full floor, you would definitely notice that. That's going to be a fail. Fail on the Peugeot on a flood test. Okay, so that's a fail. And Bruce is the last one. This is Bruce here. This is the moisture test. The ends look like they're not doing too good. They look like they're curling, but the overall floor is in pretty good condition. We've got some bumps going on right here. No, it's a fail on the moisture test. The Bruce is going to be a fail on the moisture test. And it's the same thing with the full flood. If you get any moisture on this floor, your floor is not going to be nice and pretty. So Bruce is going to be a failing on both fronts, the moisture and the flood. Let me double check the Peugeot one. One end is good, one end is not so good.
I'll find out.
This one may have been at the end, and that's why it looks that way. I bet you this one would fail both of them as well, the moisture as well as the the flood test. So I'm gonna give the Bruce a fail on both counts. Okay, here is our scorecard for all the products. Now, in this particular, for these tests that I did, the one that held up the best was the Allure luxury vinyl tile. Here are some samples of the different floor that you can do with the luxury vinyl tile, and this one held up really, really good to the scratch test, the moisture test, the flood test, and I believe it would pass the stay put test. So I think that one's going to be a winner all the way along. The Home Legend, I didn't have enough material to do the flood test, but since it failed the moisture test, I suspect it's going to fail the flood test as well. So the Home Legend is going to fail all the way around. The Milstead passed on the stay put test, but on the scratch test it failed. The moisture test it wasn't bad, but on the flood test it failed. So if that was a good price, I wouldn't buy that product because of the scratch test. I mean, I think you definitely want something that's not going to scratch easy. So that's fail. The Peugeot product on the stay put test failed. On the scratch test it was okay, not great, but the moisture test it was I think that one was okay, but definitely failed on the flood test. And the Bruce product failed. I tell you, if you're going to buy out of these products, I would only go with the luxury vinyl tile. They've got products that resemble, they look like real wood. I mean, you can get a really good product. Holds up to moisture, great on the scratch test. This product totally looks like a winner. All right, so that concludes this testing for flooring. All right, I got some more flooring samples here, and we are going to do a scratch test and just kind of check out the general construction. This one here is called Yancey, and it is available from BillDirect.com. It's a stained strand woven bamboo flooring, and this is supposed to be one of the toughest materials around, strand woven bamboo. Very pretty finish. It looks like it's going to be a tongue and groove. I don't know the installation instructions on this one here, but I'm going to guess that this is a glued in joints because it doesn't have the click lock system. It just looks like a tongue and groove. So let me get it on here so that way you can see how well I'm going to do on the scratch test. First I'll try a penny. Against the grain, the penny kind of leaves a little bit of a scuff mark, but comes out with your finger. A dime. Now the dime looks like it's actually scratching against the grain. Yeah. And then with the key, key not doing too bad. Yeah, it's coming out with my finger. And then with a pin tack, which is one of the most harshest tests. I already did it earlier. Here's another line. You can see that just completely destroys that. You could probably put like the furniture marker on there. Okay, so that was the first one. here's the second one here, which is again another product that is strand woven bamboo flooring. This one's Sepia. Yancey is the manufacturer, and again available at builddirect.com. Very, very pretty finish, and that is a tongue and groove again. Looks like it would have to be glued together. Alright, so penny test. Against the grain, with the grain, good. Both of them good on the penny. Dime, that is definitely scratching against the grain with the dime. Key did pretty good in both directions, and then here's a scratch. Definitely will scratch with a pin tack. Alright, next product. Here it is right here. It's very pretty flooring. Again, tongue and groove. Interesting how it looks like it's glued together in sections, unlike the other ones. The other two that I showed you, you see that? They're all like one piece. This is now, looks like it was glued together in like little sections. This one here is the same manufacturer, Yancey. This is a hand scraped horizontal bamboo flooring, and direct print is sandalwood. Again at builddirect.com, and let's see how well this product does on the scratch test. Here's a dime. Penny does pretty good. Here's a dime. Dime is scratching against the grain. Key, against the grain, it marks it up. And then thumbtack leaves a very hard scratch. Here's the next product. This is also pretty much the same thing. This is gonna, but looks like the exact same material as the one we just tested right there. So, anyways, that's just another hand scraped horizontal bamboo flooring. Okay, last one in the bamboo flooring. This is vertical bamboo flooring, again Yancey, and also builddirect.com. It looks kind of like one piece of wood, tongue and groove here and here, so it looks like it's going to have to be glued for the floating floor installation. Very, very pretty finish. Very pretty. Alright, now I want to make sure you're seeing that. Here's the penny. Penny does fantastic. Dime, with the grain, against the grain, slight scratches with the dime. Key, against the grain, leaves marks against the grain, and then the scratch test, boom, full-blown scratch. Okay, that's it for the bamboo flooring. Now we're coming over to another product. This is vinyl plank flooring. You see different colors here. And let's do this one here first. Okay, here's your side profile of what this looks like. And this is a click lock system going on right here. And this here is, the manufacturer is called Vesdora. This is Home Song Splash. Also available at builddirect.com. There's their website and phone number. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do our scratch testing with this product. They referred to this, by the way, as an indestructible product. So it'll be interesting to see how well it does. Let me try to get a better camera angle here. So you're right down on that. So you can kind of see that really good. Okay, so let's start off with the penny. Oh, it sounds much louder than the wood did. Penny is not doing anything. Dime. It is not scratching this at all. Key, nothing. Now let's try with the thumbtack. You know, it doesn't show up. You can't see it. I did scratch it, but if that's picking up on the camera, I'd be surprised. I can hardly see it just looking at it just like this. Very strong product. It'll be very interesting to see how well this does with a water test. Alright, so that's the first one. Here's the second one. And it's Vestora Fawn Splash. Same product really. Side profile. It's got the click lock system to put it in. That's one side. Here's the other. And let's go with the penny. Nothing. Dime. Nothing. Key. It feels very, very hard. And now with the tack. You really can't see that. That is scratched, but you have to look at it off at an angle in order to determine if there's a scratch or not. All right, next one is going to be this one here. It is Vestora Argent Oak, and again from BuildDirect.com. Now this is a thinner profile. If you look here at the first one, you see how thick that is, and you can see in a comparison how thin this next product is. It's the same product but just thinner. Again with the click and lock type system, but the finish here on top feels the same. I think I lost my pin tack and I'll have to find that. All right. Penny good, dime good, key good, and okay, here's the scratch test. When you go with the grain, you really can't notice it at all. When you go against the grain, it does scratch, but practically not even noticeable. And again, that is one of the hardest scratches you can possibly do, is with the pin tack there. Okay, and basically that's it for those products. The rest of them are, I'm sure, going to show up the same. These are just different colors of what this, different colors of this same vinyl plank flooring from BuildDirect.com. Okay, all right. Now we are going to do a ceramic tile. This is to give you a contrast of how you got wood flooring, you got vinyl plank flooring, you got all these different types of flooring. Let's see how well ceramic tile. I usually, now this one's not considered for the floor. This is really meant for a bathroom wall, but basically it's, you know, it's a baked enamel finish. It should still be the same thing, and if you have a ceramic tile, you can do the same type testing. So first, let's start off with our penny. Nothing. Go to the dime. Nothing. Go to the key. Nothing. Now the hard scratch test with this pin tack. Now that, I would say this is indestructible. You know that this is a masonry product. You can put this and saturate this with water and it will be just fine. So as far as an indestructible floor goes, it's hard to go wrong with, in reality what you really want is porcelain tile floor, which is just like ceramic, except it has 3 times higher what they call PSI rating, which means if you drop something on it, the porcelain tile floor is 3 times stronger than compared to a ceramic tile floor. So if you can get a good deal on porcelain tile, that's a better product for durability, from a sharp drop from something like a pot, a pan, or glass or something like that. That is really an indestructible floor. Does not scratch even with a pin tack. All the other products scratched. So, alright, that's it. Thank you. Okay, I'm just ready to conclude my testing on these pieces of wood. I've actually, this is going back to this is the flooring project. I actually soaked these over the weekend in a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket of water. So let me start with this piece here. The sticker came off the back, but it's one of the ones that had this profile on the side. This one here, the ends really buckled badly after being soaked in water for a weekend. So it looks like, you know, under water this bamboo flooring would do pretty poor. This one here doesn't look bad on the surface. The surface looks pretty nice actually, but when you look at it on the side profile, you'll see how much that buckled in right there. So you can see that that buckled in pretty good. So that would be under severe duress as well. This one here, the front looks really nice. It looks like it might have buckled though. Looking at it like this, let me see if I can give it some type of a contrast. Try it with this straight edge here. You can see that there's a gap there. So this thing would have buckled too. So the wood flooring, obviously it's wood. Wood just doesn't hold up to water very well. Hence the drawback of a wood floor. They look beautiful, but they do scratch. And under water conditions, they'll buckle or they'll ripple here at the ends, even with high quality bamboo flooring. Now, vinyl plank flooring. This has been soaking in water, in a bucket of water, for 2 days. It looks flawless. Absolutely perfect. Same with this thicker piece of, this is Vestora that you can get from BuildDirect.com. This one is Fawn Splash. Now this one here, same thing. Absolutely perfect, pristine condition. So now under this, the only one that this one failed with was with the tack, and then doing a scratch with the tack. All the other scratches were impervious to this material. This was as close to indestructible on the flooring as you could get. This one, or even this thinner product here, this one here worked out quite well. Practically impervious. The only thing that it would do is under a heavy scratch, it would scratch, but water and everything else, this worked out really good. Of course, the ceramic tile is also going to be a winner as well. Alright, that's it. Thank you.